My name is Julio Navarrete. I'm 28 years old, and I'm a current student at the National Hispanic University in East San Jose. I'm pursuing a master's in education. I am an undocumented American. I came to the US when I was 8 years old, so I had no decision on the matter. When we were crossing, I asked my mother, why are we going to the US? Because I loved my life in Mexico. My whole family's there, my friends were there, my teacher. I was halfway through my third grade year. And so I didn't want to go. And her answer was, if we stay here, we're going to starve to death. I saw from far away because I wasn't with my mom. My sister was with my mom, and I was with the coyote. And I remember looking back and seeing my mom trip and fall to the ground really hard. And I got scared. I've never seen my mom hurt before. So I wanted to run to her. And and when I wanted to run back, the coyote, he grabs me, picks me up, and takes me into his arms and just keeps running. Um, it was it was just very intense for a child to go through something like that. I consider myself an undocumented American. I feel American in every way. I mean, I've been in this country for 20 years. I've grown up here. I've gone to elementary school, middle school, high school, college, now grad school. I do community service. I am very embedded in the American culture in every sense. Every holiday I celebrate, right? Thanksgiving, 4th of July. Um, I feel proud to live here. I feel proud to be American. I think my greatest fear in terms of my immigration status would be I um, if I see loved ones, people that I really care about, suffer. Probably that's everybody's greatest fear, right? But getting deported. So if I were here and I saw my mom and my sister get deported, that would devastate me because that would mean a life without them, right? Or um, if I know that a huge part of my community, of the undocumented community, is being um, deported or um, like placed in detention centers, which are modern day internment camps, basically, um, that would devastate me as well. Last year, I was driving to my uncle's house in Idaho, like I always did, and I was in the middle of Nevada. I was approaching a small town called Winnemucca. It's about 7,000 population, and I was doing fine. I wasn't speeding. I was driving carefully, and I saw a police officer he had his patrol car on the left side of Interstate 80. And so I drive past the patrol car, nothing happens. And suddenly when I look in my rearview mirror, I notice that he turned his sirens on and he's on the freeway at full speed coming toward me. And so in my mind, I still don't believe that he's gonna pull me over because I didn't do anything wrong. So I'm thinking,
maybe he got a call, or maybe he's pulling somebody else over. But before I knew it, he was right behind me. And so I merged over to the right lane, and he followed. So then that's when I knew that he was pulling me over, and I was still in disbelief. I couldn't understand his reason for pulling me over. So he pulls me over, walks to my car, asks me for a driver's license and registration, and usually they'll wait there at the window for you to give them those documents, but he said, get your driver's and registration and meet me at my car, and he walked back. So I'm freaking out, right? Shuffling through all my papers, trying to find my registration. I'd never gotten pulled over outside of California or even outside of San Jose, so I had no idea what was going to happen. You know, if this went wrong, I could possibly be arrested and I could possibly be turned over to immigration. So I'm freaking out. I walk over to the police officer and I gave him my registration and I told him I don't have a driver's license. So then he starts questioning me and he says, were you born in the United States or in another country? And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he wants to know whether I'm here legally or not, so that he can know whether to arrest me or not. So I told him, I'm sorry, officer, I just don't feel comfortable answering that question. And so he pulls out his handcuffs and says, okay, turn around and put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest. And I nearly fainted in that moment, because that's like my worst nightmare coming to life. Getting arrested for something totally insignificant and getting deported.
The fear of deportation is always subconsciously with me, always in the back of my head. So any decision that I make, something as small as, am I gonna drive through that neighborhood that I know there's always cops there, or there's always a checkpoint at that corner. Right? Am I gonna drive through there, or am I gonna go around that? To just not getting myself in situations that I know can be risky, that I know could get me in trouble. So I try to live, for the most part, a very safe life. You know, I drive when I need to. I drive for work. I try to cross my T's and dot my I's, you know, in everything that I do. But I also feel like a lot of it has to do with your appearance, unfortunately. Probably if I were driving a different type of car, I would be getting pulled over more often, and that's real, right? I know that some police officers do target certain types of vehicles or certain colors of vehicles. I'm not in gangs, right? I'm not out there trying to get myself in trouble. When I go out to a club or to a party or whatever, I always try to do things that are gonna keep me safe. Like not driving while I'm drunk, or not putting myself in situations where I know I might get in trouble, because any mistake, any little misstep, I know can potentially lead to getting deported. But besides that, I try to do everything as normally as possible.